Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Tuesday, May 15th at 11:39 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. You're looking at Fissures 17 and 18 today, erupting in spectacular fashion. Keep an eye over to the right here. Look at these lava bombs falling right near these guys. Insane. Kilauea Alert level has been raised to red. Eruption imminent, as we predicted, exactly to the day. Amazingly enough. I'll leave you links to this amazing footage. You have to listen to it with sound. It is explosive. Boom! Storm punches New Jersey with barrage of M&M-size hail, destructive winds, and fiery lightning. We've been predicting this hail. Storm knocks out power for thousands, downs trees in North Jersey. A line of thunderstorms traveling east brought rain and strong winds to Bergen County Tuesday afternoon. Some excellent pictures of smashed cars and trees, if you go look. After huge hail and flooding in Frederick, storms let up across the region overnight. There is the front in question. It's not over for you, Morgantown, Hagerstown, and Philly. This is slowly going to migrate to the north as it moves to the east. Golf ball size hail pounded cars in New York, literally smashing windshields and scaring the out of everyone. Drivers in Saugerties, New York got an unwelcome surprise when golf ball size hail bombarded their vehicles during a severe storm on Tuesday. There is the place in question. There is the hail. Holy hell. His window's open. Roll that up, buddy. He's trying to get his selfie. Look at the size of that chunker there. Those are some deadly nuggets. Look at that one. Many windshields being reported broken, and this is just the beginning of an uptick we've seen in the last 72 hours of over 150 hail reports in North America, the average of which is a half an inch or greater, and 15% of them are reaching over an inch, and this is epic and deadly. I'll leave you links. It goes on and on. Golf ball size hail pounds cars in New York. I saw a few the size of maybe limes in there. What do you guys think? Flooding swamps homes, forces evacuation in Washington, Montana, British Columbia. This network error has been happening all night. Snowmelt flooding continues to worsen in parts of Washington, Montana, and British Columbia. In central Washington, residents are preparing to evacuate in Leavenworth as a dam appears to be threatened. Thousands evacuated in BC as floods threaten the Fraser Valley. Temperatures warmed considerably in recent weeks in the Northwest, and that's causing big problems for several waterways as snowmelt has sent rivers rising to dangerous levels. Well, look out. If there are warnings, get out. Several hundred Nebraska farmers totally fluxed and lose their hail coverage. Now, this is coming because all the farmers are seeing the uptick in hail. 180 reports in 3 days. They have the same weather monitoring systems that I'm looking at. And 400 of these farmers had already paid for their hail insurance and had already planted their seed. And they said, oh, sorry, too many people buying hail coverage this year. You're screwed. Let's talk about the earthquake swarm near Mayotte, oldest volcanic island in the Coromos Basin off of Madagascar. This is not boding well for vanilla if this area blows. A rare earthquake swarm started near the small Indian Ocean island of Mayotte on May 10th. We reported on it first here. It continues to date. We reported on the swarm, and the uptick is continuing. There was a 6.1 downgraded to 5.8 today. Heads up, look at that. Whew. This could be a new hotspot forming, maybe a new caldera penetrating the surface. We're going to be watching it live. So we're going to keep a close eye on this volcanic system. We have a 4.8 popping off in the Philippines. Standard activity here in the Hawaiian Islands as we await the large phreatic eruption from the main caldera. 3.5 in Alaska. And let's come look at that larger quake here off of Madagascar. 4.7 aftershock for the main quake, which is coming in at 5.8. So we're going to be watching this. It's been a 72-hour uptick. Red alert declared on Hawaii's Big Island. Like we said, major Kilauea eruption imminent. Imminent. And this is because of the major activity which occurred today. NASA defines a volcano as an opening on the surface where tons of stuff comes out and cools the planet. Now, eruption of magma or lava occurs when tectonic plates shift. In this case, it's a hot spot, so none of this matters. So there's not going to be a large loss of life from this event because it is a shield volcano, and a large eruption from a shield volcano doesn't go that far. It will send massive amounts of ash and steam into the atmosphere, however. And we'll be watching to see the magnitude of this quake. The U.S. Geological Survey has raised the alert for Hawaii's Kilauea volcano from orange to red today. Ash eruption at the volcano summit increased in intensity on Tuesday, with an ash cloud spewing as high as 12,000 feet above sea level, according to the USGS. Now, this is what raised eyebrows. Now, as far as the live streams are concerned, they are taking them down left and right because the powers that be do not want you to know what's going on, first of all, and they don't want fear-mongering to get the entire population of North America in a panic. There are millions of people near here, and they're really not at risk. There's no evidence of any major eruptions that would put the people at risk up in Hilo. But the people in Leilani Estates and South, if there's anyone there, then they are at risk. And anyone that's stupid enough to go near that main Kilauea caldera, if it does blow, they could be dead and the flesh could fall from their bones. A summary of HOV. Kilauea ash eruption summit has increased in intensity. We're going to get to the actual update that everyone is copying, but I did find a live stream for you here. NRT Volcano Earthquake Dashboard. Come over here. There's a chat room live. They have the seismos up, and they're doing a 3D rotation here so you can see exactly what's happening as this baby upticks, and they're waiting for the big eruption. Could happen at any moment. You could be watching it live. So come over to NRT Volcano. What's the channel? The Scientific Duo. Subscribe. Tell them the Oppenheimer Ranch Project sent you, and tell them about the Grand Solar Minimum. They're very confused over in here. Let's get to the actual update coming from the USGS Hawaii Volcano Observatory. The alert was issued, went from orange to red as of early this morning. The eruption of ash from the overlook vent within the Halamanamau crater at Kilauea summit has generally increased in intensity. Ash has been rising nearly continuously from the vent and drifting downwind to the southwest. Ashfall and VOG, or volcanic air pollution, has been reported in Pahala, 18 miles downwind, north. National Weather Service radar and pilot reports indicate the top of the ash cloud from 10 to 12,000 feet above sea level, but this may be expected to vary depending on the vigor and activity of the wind conditions above that caldera. Ash emissions from Kilauea Summit vent will likely be variable with periods of increase and decrease intensity depending on the occurrence of rock falls into the vent. Now with the increase in this output, that will increase the rock fall. This is going to be a collective event, and it's going to happen over the next 48 hours. And now if there is enough rock fall and the lava lake falls enough because of the ejection of lava at Fissure 17 and 18, what we're going to see is a major phreatic eruption, which is simply like Old Faithful times 1,000. It's going to shoot all that rock debris into the air up to 5 kilometers away. And hopefully it'll happen during the daytime so we can watch it. If it happens at night, we're not going to see a thing, unfortunately. KP is at 0, which means cosmic ray flux is up, which does not bode well for the lithosphere. So heads up on a large earthquake or Kilauea erupting at this time. Trump administration cuts all government funding for NASA's global warming program. Yes! Some good things do come from the government. This will no doubt make liberals a bit hot under the collar. A so-called climate change monitoring system has just been scrapped. Thankfully. Boom. Yes, they are. And good news coming out from the U.S. government. We can use that money to survive and thrive in the coming times. This is what the flight patterns on an average 24-hour period look like in North America, guys. They are not chemtrails, they're contrails. Cosmic ray flux is increasing, causing increased nucleation of these contrails. They're lasting longer, and just look at how many there are. Someone contacted me today from New Mexico and said, there are no planes that fly over my state. And I said, there are like 10,000 flights daily that go over your state, and they're not spraying. There's people in those vehicles. Let's talk about solutions. 20 perennial vegetables to plant once for years of bounty. This is a way you can survive and thrive by planting things that will continue to produce every year, and every year get more and more plentiful and bountiful. This is how you have abundance. And I'm going to leave you links to everything you need to know about perennial crops, including raspberries, asparagus, rhubarb, kale, garlic, radicchio, horseradish, globe artichokes, lovage, watercress, and 10 more less known bunching onions, daylilies, good King Henry, groundnut, Jerusalem artichoke, we covered that, ostrich fern, ramps or wild leeks, scarlet runner beans, sea kale, sorrel, and on. This does not include all fruit trees. So, bone up on that. I'll also leave you links on how to plant a perennial food garden, 20 fruits and veggies that will keep coming back year after year. Also, lovage. It's really the way to go. It's an excellent medicinal plant. You should really look into it. I'm going to leave you links to this Rodale Institute for Edible Spring Perennials that you need to grow. For those of you that don't know how to read or you're too lazy, I'm even going to include this over 30 edible perennials in a small garden video from this guy who is totally unwatchable in my eyes. He's so annoyingly nice. It's almost sickening to watch the video. There's a lot of good information on it. And he keeps petting his cat and saying, good boy. And it's really creepy. So if you want to get creeped out and learn about perennial vegetables, watch this video. Let's talk about cannabis. Why wouldn't we? Plant a Seed for Cannabis Education American Tour 2017 just ended, and the 2018 tour is continuing, and it's moving its way right through Pagosa Springs for the next 48 hours. And what does that mean for you? Tomorrow on the radio show, Dr. Regina Nelson, author of the Medical Cannabis Recommendation. It's time for the talk. She'll be joining us on the show with Michael Browning. And you will be talking about Rick Simpson oil, CBD, THC, curing cancer, and sticking it to the man. Grow your own medicine. You do not need to be killing yourself with pharmaceuticals. You could be curing your diseases with plant-based, safe medicines. And Dr. Regina Nelson is going to tell us all about it. I can't wait to talk to them. It's going to be a hit. Volcanoes Day's exploding, guys. Times are changing. They're going to continue to lie. They're going to continue to obfuscate from the truth. And the way they're going to do that over the next several years is telling you that this grand minimum is going to be overridden by global warming. It's going to save us. Global warming is going to save us from the cold. You're the only one who can save yourself from the times that are coming. That's global unrest. That is the major threat. So the financial markets will start to fail. They're going to start to fail after August 30th of this year. That's when you're going to see the first major downtick in the stock markets. Now, guys, the stock markets are going to take a hit for the next week and a half, but they're going to go straight up into a bull market throughout the summer. So in the next 2 weeks, the stock market is going to hit a bottom, and buy crypto, buy stocks, and get out at the end of August. And that's a heads up. We're basing all this on the sun. Sun cycles control the market, and we know the patterns. So that's a big heads up for your money, because you're going to need your money in the next 6 months to be stockpiling supplies for your family to survive and thrive in the future. You need to be listening to prepping channels, our radio shows, and understanding different scenarios that can unfold, including knocking out of the grid because of a solar flare, the crash of financial markets, which is going to lead to rapid inflation and put all of the preps that you need out of reach because it will cost too much. And global unrest in the form of when these crops start failing over the next year and a half, commodities are going to be scarce, shipments are not going to make it to market, people are going to freak out. Also, next winter, when the grid is failing and there's a heavy blizzard and the grid is down, people are going to start to freeze to death. They're going to need to move. Things are going to be changing quickly. It is not the time to wait. Now is the time to prepare. Don't be scared. Fear is a liar. Be prepared. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance in a grand solar minimum. History, let it be your guide. There is tons of information on the Dalton minimum and Little Ice Age that you can Google. Google historical documentation of the Little Ice Age. Be safe, everyone.